Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100-plus programs and concentration, schools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews with faculty, staff, deans, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. Well, I am feeling the love as I am back in one of my favorite places, Nashville, Tennessee. And I am here to talk to Campus President Nick South and Dean of Academic and Student Services, Jennifer Carroll, to learn a little bit more about South College in Music City. You will soon hear why these students in Nashville are not distracted by the bright lights on Broadway, but are laser focused on their future. Hey, Nick and Jennifer, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kathleen. Very excited to be here.
Yay! All right. Well, in full disclosure, I was planning on interviewing students today, and thanks to, calendars and my inability to read them, the students are actually on break right now, but that's okay. So let's get into this. I have to say, every time I come to the South College Nashville campus, the students always look, straight out of Central Casting. I mean it. They are smart, well-spoken, put together, and very polite, and always seem to just really shine. So you have to tell me, what makes the Nashville campus so special?
So, I think from very early on, when I moved here in summer of 2016, I was very key on instilling a positive culture, both from a working environment, but also from a student environment. And I think that we've seen that carry over in the 9 years that we've been here and been operational. And, it's always nice too when, the staff member or the dean or your faculty member have a smile on their face and are excited to be here. And I think that carries forward as to, the type of environment that we have here, and one that I'm lucky to be a part of.
Yeah, I love that. Jennifer, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree. I was fortunate enough to start at South right when we opened, and consistently we have had just a positive energy here with the employees down from the first floor all the way up to the sixth floor, and encouraging our students to have a similar mindset and mentality.
That makes sense. And it's true because every time I come in, there's always a smiling, familiar face saying hello and hey and welcome. And every time I come, it's amazing. More and more people that I recognize because they're here. And I'm finding that a lot of the faculty and staff have been here for some time, and they're always everybody just seems to be happy to be here, which is awesome. And every time I come here, the students are always, they seem very excited about their program. So what do you think contributes to that sentiment with the students?
Well, I think one, there's an excitement, right? We're in the education business, and our job is to create change. And I think that excites people. I think, the other thing, you look at this and you could say this about Nashville, you could say this about any other campus, is it's how beautiful our facilities are. We have state-of-the-art technology, state-of-the-art labs and facilities, and have also brought, clinical partners in that these kids, can graduate and have a job, shortly thereafter after graduation. And I think it's, whether it's a first-time learner or a first-time college grad, we like seeing that type of mentality and that type of attitude from our students. And I think that that's what's yielded our success here over the last 8 to 9 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's amazing. All right, Jennifer, you see more of the students probably than anybody as Dean of Academics and Student Services. So what do you think? What do you think is contributing to, I guess, just kind of the general happiness that happens with these students?
Yeah, I think also the fields that students are getting into after they graduate are so marketable, and they are in such high demand that they know they've got a really positive future once they get through the education side. So it's easy for them to see their future because we've got these great partnerships. They're going out, working out at the clinic as students, and are just overall able to see how bright their future is.
Yeah, I love that. And we don't think it has anything to do with the proximity to Broadway and all the no? Okay. I mean,
It
just
could.
that's
Man,
me.
it could be.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt at all.
Of course not, of course not. Oh, wow. Well, so the dental clinic, which we talk about a lot on the podcast, I just recently interviewed several folks associated with the dental clinic, and it's a huge program, and it's also an amazing facility inside of the public dental clinic and everything that they get to use. Tell us a little bit more about that program, really, kind of from the two of you as the leaders of the campus and the public facing dental clinic for obviously for the dental program.
Yeah.
Sure. So we accept two groups of students each year. We accept a cohort in April and October, 40 in each group. And once they're in the program, it is 8 quarters of hands on learning. A lot of our programs have clinical sites off campus where they're going to area hospitals. The nice thing about the dental clinic is we have an in house clinic where we have individuals from the public that are on campus Monday through Thursday and are able to come in and get dental services very, very, very low cost. For example, like people can come in and get their teeth cleaned for $20. It's even less than that for kids. Students, veterans are able to get services free of charge. Another benefit of being a student here, but students are able to get a lot of hands-on experience, but also for the public, they're able to come in and get dental care that, a lot of patients don't have dental insurance. So it definitely is
Mhm.
helpful on the cost aspect, but we have an attending dentist that is here supervising everything to make sure that care is being taken. And it's just an overall great opportunity for the patients as well as the students.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Nick, level with me. How many times have you gotten your teeth whitened downstairs?
Totally. I actually get my teeth cleaned down there once or twice a year. I'm a frequent flyer. Uh, and I think I'm a living example of believing in the product that we're teaching. But no, the dental clinic itself has been so much more than just the program for us, and one that I significantly underestimated when we decided to launch this program. Being able to see anywhere from 40 to 60 patients a day, to bring care to individuals that don't have access to dental care. You know, wild stat, there's only one county in the state of Tennessee that has sufficient dental care. So the need for dental care is statewide, and we've seen that. And even being able to bring kids from the Boys and Girls Club in to have their teeth cleaned for free. We've had great partners in Colgate, and a few others that have provided supplies for us. But overall, the community reach of this program has performed much better than I had ever thought, and one that we're very proud to have here.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I've been down there, the students are amazing. The faculty is amazing, and they're so happy to lend their time. And you have a licensed DDS that's on property as well that's supervising, and it's always just a hub of activity. And I love being down there. All right, so let's change gears a little bit. You have a brand new DPT program that joins at the graduate level with an already successful PA program. So, is the national campus becoming the new destination for graduate level programs? What do you think?
I hope so. we we no we've been very lucky, having the success of the PA program. That was the second PA program that South had launched, was here in Nashville, and then followed by DPT. About a year and a half ago when that program launched, was the third DPT program that we've launched within the institution. Yeah, I mean, we've got further plans, for OTD in the next year and a half. Obviously, there's a few others that we would like to see on campus, but overall, Nashville's been great for us, and we're meeting a healthcare deficiency with the programs that we're bringing here, whether it's undergrad or graduate. We've seen really good outcomes, not only within the program and past licensure, but when it comes to career placement and advancement as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, Jennifer, same question. So, what do you think? Do you think you guys are obviously the new hub for graduate degrees, especially the success of CA, which has been huge for Nashville, and now DPT?
Yeah, I can see us, especially with DPT and OTD, the format that those programs are in. Students do their didactic learning online, and then they come to Nashville for a couple of weeks each quarter to do hands on immersive labs. And with Nashville being kind of a destination city, I
Mhm.
can see that kind of helping us be able to expand even more. Our PA program is strictly on campus, but as we're looking at these other grad programs, Nashville really does have a good draw for students wanting to come to school here and hopefully, once they graduate, continue working in the area.
Oh yeah. No, I see that too, and then like I said, it's really interesting that it's become such a draw, and I think it's only gonna get bigger. That's just one opinion. So, what's coming soon? I've heard a little rumor there's a campus expansion coming, so tell us a little bit more about that.
Excited, in the building that we're currently in, we got right at about 75,000 square feet. And with the student demand and student count, the growth that we've experienced in the last few years, it was time to expand. Very fortunate that it's about 150 yards away from our front door. It's going to be a beautiful, about 35,000 square feet worth of space. We'll have anything from student centers to new sim units, nursing labs, lecture halls. The DPT space will be permanent over there, as well as administrative offices. But we're very excited, hoping that students are walking through those doors mid January to beginning of February. So very excited. Long time in the making, but and hopefully some parking relief at the same time. So we're very excited about the future growth and where we're going.
Oh, I love that. Yes, I can vouch for the parking issues. Just saying. As a visitor, just saying. All right, Jennifer. So you're in the hot seat. Tell us a little bit more about your role of Dean of Academic and Student Success and when students really need you here at Nashville.
Sure. Well, I work closely with student services, student affairs to help with an assortment of student problems that might pop up. A lot of times, students are working with me when things aren't going as planned, whether it is they're having issues with things happening off campus, whether it's personal challenges, mental health struggles. It could be that they are appealing a grade that they received. Anytime there are issues, essentially, the students, we have a very structured process of talking to their instructor, the program director, but typically, once it reaches me, they've exhausted all of those resources, and I work with them on how to get some sort of a resolution, whatever that may look like, whether it's appealing a dismissal from a program or helping to get them mental health resources that they could benefit from.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying, if they see you, it's usually not a good thing.
Well, not because I'm causing problems, but yes, hopefully because I'm there to help them resolve some of their challenges.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. All right. So just for the record, kind of like a Grim Reaper thing. You show up. Okay, this isn't good. No, I'm kidding.
Hopefully
No,
nobody feels that way about me. Hopefully.
no, and she's
They
lovely.
could.
Boy, if you've never met her, she's fabulous. So, anyway. All right, Nick, now it's your turn. You are a fixture in the Nashville community. So, how rewarding is it to see how much South College Nashville has grown?
Right. It's been great. I mean, being an advocate not only for the campus but for the institution has been very rewarding, and I've been fortunate enough to meet individuals that have helped the continued success here, whether that be our partnership with HCA to other healthcare organizations within Metro Nashville and surrounding areas. But it's been great, and seeing it. Jennifer is one of the few that can attest to this. But seeing it from day one, we were down there on that second floor and sitting in an old classroom and having 5 to 6 full-time faculty and staff, and then 30 kids to now, you got over 200 employees and 2,200 students. It's a great story and one that we're very proud of.
Oh, I love that. Well, you guys do a lot of work with the local high schools around here, and you also recently hosted the HOSA International Competition. So, what's it like to see all these young and hopeful faces that are looking to potential futures, possibly at South College, for their next step? And let's not forget the Tennessee Promise Scholarship.
No, it's been great, and the Tennessee Promise program is a great one that the state has rolled out, and one that we've been beneficiaries of, and it's great to, before, our demographic was a lot of first time learners, single parents, and with the transition in Nashville, we saw an increase in high school students coming into our programs, and it's been great, and for somebody that went to a traditional institution, seeing these individuals come in and have their mind made up as to what program to study and what they want to do. I can be the first to tell you I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do when I was 17, 18 years old, and I went to college, and so it's very rewarding. And the HOSA program is one that's incredible. I did not know about it up until they engaged with us about wanting us to host some competitions around campus, and very rewarding. It was great to see kids from all backgrounds, different states, and whatnot. But I think the HOSA partnership is one that's going to continue to only build and grow as a lot of their markets that they're in and the markets that they travel to for these conferences are fortunately where we have campuses. So I only see that relationship getting bigger and growing in the future.
Yeah, Jennifer, kind of the same question for you. You guys host a lot of high schools and a lot of high school students that come in. You had a group here this morning, actually. So, how rewarding is that to see, like I said, these young and hopeful faces that are looking and kind of sampling opportunities that they possibly could take as they become college age, and most importantly, as they become adults? What do you think?
Right. No, it definitely is because some of our programs students and just the general population may not be familiar with. So we have like an occupational therapy assisting program here that a lot of people may not be familiar with. That once students come in and they see the interactive labs that we have set up, we're getting students excited about a potential career path. Another thing that's really nice is not just the high school students, but kind of the pride that we feel and the excitement we have now that we've been established for several years. We have students who have graduated and are working in area hospitals and hearing the feedback from our community partners of how great our graduates are. That also is very rewarding in a sense that we know that what we're doing is valuable. We know that students are graduating and are able to better their lives and also working in this community.
I've heard that feedback myself when I've had to go on different locations for things, and I actually had, someone who is a doctor in an emergency room in a major metro area who I got to meet, and I told him what I did and where I worked, and he said, "I love getting South College students." He said, "I love getting them in clinicals, and I love to hire them." He says, "They're always the most prepared, the best prepared students," and that I actually took that back to Chancellor, and I'm like, here's a piece of feedback. And I think it's really great. So to see that that's spreading institution wide is amazing. All right. So, Nick, I'm going to take you back to the building here for a minute. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. This building is so recognizable, iconic, and sort of rises from the highway on I-40 right by the airport. It's kind of like the Death Star. I mean, all of a sudden, there it is. So when you mention South College, obviously, how often do people say, "Yep, I know where that is"?
So no, when an individual asks, what do you do? Where do I work? And it's really the same phrase. Oh, you're the one out there by the airport, and we tell ourselves this all the time and in a joking manner, but we like to call it a very expensive billboard. I mean, it is very hard to miss during the holiday season. I mean, the building is decorated and full of festivities and whatnot. And so, uh, it's become very recognizable and one that sits on one of the busiest interstates in the country, and one that people have become familiar with the brand, which took some time and when we first moved here, but it is a very recognizable brand, not only from the logo perspective, but from a reputation aspect in the healthcare community, which is one that I'm very proud of.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, every time you drive by 40, they're right by the airport. Boop, it's right there. Jennifer, same question. So how often do you get the, "Oh, I know where that is"?
Actually, I had two people mention that just Friday at a football game that they were driving by and said, "Oh, I didn't know that's where you all were until I was driving by the interstate and saw this huge South College sign." Like, yep, that's where I am. So everybody that is driving the interstate knows where we are. So it's definitely as soon as you say we're across from the airport. Oh, yes, I've seen you know exactly where that is.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, and, I agree with Nick, it's better than a billboard for sure. All right, Jennifer, question for you. What was your journey and how did you get to South College?
So my background is ultrasound. I graduated from ultrasound school maybe 20 or so years ago. Was working in a hospital, went to another college and was teaching there, and actually was not looking for a job and saw South College was coming to town, came, met with Nick and Dr. Hall, and was blown away with just how great they were and the reputation of the campus in Knoxville. I've been here about 8.5 years. I started out as the chair of imaging sciences. So I was teaching ultrasound, and about 3 years ago, I was moved into the Dean of Academic and Student Services position.
Cool. Well, I love that. So you're really bringing some hands-on experience to the dean role. All right, Nick, so same question. As campus president, what's your journey to South College?
All right. I graduated from the University of Tennessee, and I actually went and worked in the oil and petroleum business for 2 years. Worked with Jimmy Haslam as a business analyst for him, and learned a lot of things that at a very young age that I think has helped set me up for success as to where I am, today. Shortly thereafter, I realized I needed to get off an hourly wage, so I applied for South and got a job and it worked in admissions, and then worked in the School of Pharmacy as their DOA, and then I moved to the Asheville campus 2013 and ran the campus there for 4 years. Saw it through the merger with SAC COC and the Knoxville campus, and then transitioned to Nashville in the summer of 16. And here I am now, married and two young girls. I mean, time flies to say the least.
Yeah, it sure does. That's awesome. I love that. I had no idea that you have a background in that you've worked in the gas and oil industry. That's actually really interesting. So, do you think there's any applicable skill set from one to the other or not really?
No, no. Now running, obviously running a business, there definitely is, but from an aspect of education and petroleum, there's not a lot of similarities in that aspect. But like I said, a lot of traits that I was taught at a very young age, working under Mr. Haslam, has set me up for success, and one that I'm thankful for having that experience, because I do believe that if I hadn't had that, I don't know if I would have been where I am today.
Yeah, and I agree with something you said earlier that you said at 17, 18 that you weren't really completely directed and really sure what you wanted to do other than you wanted to go to college. I think that's a pretty common theme for a lot of these kids that are approaching college age and they kind of don't know what they want to do. They have interest and passion in different areas, but they don't really necessarily know how to package that into something that is meaningful that they can take into post graduation. Where do they go from there? So I think that's one of the things that I really love about the programs that we have at South College is because you're pretty well rounded, but most importantly, by the time you are ready to take a certification or a licensure exam, you know exactly what direction you're going to. So I think it's great. All right, so Jennifer, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I know that you're excited about this question.
So I have two teenage daughters who are a lot more athletic than I could ever dream of being. So usually we are going to volleyball practice or volleyball games, basketball games. So I enjoy doing that. If it's just me time, I love sitting on my deck, reading a book, having some snacks, napping, reading, napping, snacks back and forth.
I sense a theme.
Yes.
I love that. Nick, same question. What do you like to do in your spare time? And I have a feeling it starts with the letter G.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the coffin there, and first and foremost, my other job is my favorite, and that's being dad. I love spending time with my girls. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. If you ask the 4-year-old how old she is, she'll tell you 4.5. That's a big thing now, when they start throwing the half mark out there. But love spending time with them. I love working out, playing golf in my free time. I'm a huge sports fanatic. Grew up loving the Atlanta Braves and the Falcons, and obviously all things the University of Tennessee. So I'm hoping that support that I've gotten, becoming a Vol and my diehard passion carries over to my daughters. Because there's certain schools down south we don't want them to go to, and that's okay. But
Can I guess the letters? No.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't take many, right? And yeah, those are some of the things I'd love to do.
Yeah, I would definitely redirect them on the Braves and the Falcons as a native Atlantan. Yeah. I don't know. I've raised in Atlanta, and the Braves and the Falcons, just hopefully maybe next year. I don't know. That seems to be a theme. It will be better next year. Anyway. All right, Jennifer, what kind of student were you in school?
Looking back, I'm pretty sure I was an annoying student, honestly. I can remember in ultrasound school the look of annoyance on my instructor's face because I would question a lot of things. If we got a test back and I missed a question, I was always the first one to, now where is this? And why did you say this is the correct answer? And so yeah, I think I might have been annoying. I was a good student.
Yeah.
I got pretty good grades, but
You needed context. You needed get it. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. You wanted to know more. You weren't just going to accept the answer for what it is. No, I get that.
ask Nick what kind of student he was.
I was just getting ready. All right, Nick, what kind of student were you in school?
Not a good one. At least my first semester in college, I was not. I carried a mentality. I was a good high school student, came in with a really good GPA, and I didn't have to think or believe that once you get to college that you have to study, right? I mean, there's so many things going on, and I quickly realized after my fall semester that my priorities need to shift. Got my act together and graduated with 2 degrees, and then ended up getting my master's shortly thereafter. So, anybody that says they're a good student, at least starting out, is more than likely lying to you, because I did not have my academic priorities in line when I started college.
No, I get that. I think most of us spent our freshman year on the underside of an upturned Bud Light bottle. Oh, wait, that was I get it. I get it. But the most important thing is we all matured and we all figured it out and we finished. That's the most important thing, right?
Correct.
I love it. Well, there it is. Want to know where the beautiful people are in Nashville? Look no further than South College Nashville, going on every day. And we learned a little something about the campus president and the dean of academic and student services. It was awesome. I want to thank my guests, Nashville campus president Nick South and dean of academic and student services, Jennifer Carroll. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you, Kathleen. Really enjoyed it.
Love it. Coming up after the break, hear all about one of the largest programs on the Nashville campus. I'll be sitting down with Nashville's PA Education Coordinator, Jessica Aaron, to learn some behind-the-scenes dish on physician assistant students. Stick around. We'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through competency-based education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Welcome back. Well, you've heard plenty from the two people that keep this train in Nashville rolling each day. But now we're focusing a little inward to hear more about the incredible PA program here as well. I am pleased to welcome Physician Assistant Education Coordinator for Nashville, Jessica Arend. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Kathleen. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. So, back a few months ago, I interviewed Dr. Don Yeager, who is the PA program director for Knoxville, and it's honestly one of our most downloaded episodes, which tells me PA is hot, hot, hot. Why do you think PA is such a hot program for South College?
Well, I think it's popular, especially on our campus here in Nashville, because it's our only graduate level program. Nashville has quite a lot of PA programs, and the state of Tennessee as well. So we're very highly sought after, and we're very proud to represent the PA program here at South College.
Yeah, I agree. So, what can you tell me about your PA students in Nashville other than I have met many of them, and they all seem to be accomplished and serious students?
Yes, our PA students, we absolutely love them. They are very accomplished. They come to us already having a plethora of different backgrounds, and it's very great to be able to see their minds sort of take shape and discover what this career is going to be for them after they graduate. Actually, we're in our very busy season right now. So we've got two cohorts on campus. We had a brand new, the class of 2027 is actually starting with us just last week. They're brand new to campus, bright, shining eyes. And so we've got them on campus, and we've got our class of 2025 finishing up their clinical year right now. They'll be graduating in December. And then we've got our class of 2026 in the midst of their didactic year. So they're all learning, some on campus and some off.
Yeah, and I have to say, every time I see PA students in Nashville, and honestly, all the students in Nashville, and I've mentioned this before, they are always the most polite. And I don't know if that's just a Nashville thing or we're just really, really great at recruiting and we just pick the kids that have really got it together. And it's always Nashville, always,
Wow.
always.
What a compliment. I'm a little biased, but I tend to agree. Maybe it's just the charm of Nashville. You get those cowboy boots on, and there's just something about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd be distracted by Broadway, but
Oh,
that's
me
just me.
too. We tell them not to do it. They don't have a social life during PA school, don't you know?
True. True. They have mentioned that. So tell me about your role as education coordinator.
Yeah, so I help the students during their clinical year. They have 8 rotations that they go to throughout an entire calendar year. And those are 6-week rotations where they get to discover all types of specialties from women's health to behavioral health, pediatrics, surgery, and others. And this kind of helps them decide what specialty they want to explore further and start their career in when they're graduated. So my role is to facilitate the onboarding for those clinical rotations. So when a student is about to start, say, their surgery rotation, I'll be in communication with the hospital system or whatever small facility it might be, and I'm working with the student and the preceptor and the office manager to get all that fun paperwork done.
Yeah.
So my job is a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of following up with people, and it is behind the scenes work, but I do find it very rewarding, especially when we might have some fires we need to put out.
Mhm.
And the students are very grateful whenever we're able to come up with a solution to any problems that might arise. But we try to keep those few and far between. So I'm pretty much the go between South College and our students and the real world out there with the hospitals and preceptors.
Yeah, and I also work closely with you on the Facebook page
Oh,
for
yeah.
physician assistant studies in Nashville, and so you do a masterful job, as I
Thank you.
always tell anyone who's looking at any of our social media. What a great job you guys do in Nashville! And if you have not seen the Facebook page for South College Nashville Physician Assistant Studies, please go look it up. It's fantastic. These students are amazing. They're always doing cool stuff. But anyway, I always have to mention that because I think you do a great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We've got our students help us out too, our social media chairs to run our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts. So
Mhm.
give us a follow on all of those to see what our excellent students are up to.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So PA at South College is very competitive and it's
Yes.
very hard to get into. We get thousands and thousands of
Yes.
applications at all of our campuses that have a PA program for just a few seats. What's your advice for anyone thinking about applying?
That's a great question, Kathleen. And to your point, we had over 4,000 applicants apply for only 60 seats this last application cycle. So you're not wrong. And, I'm not directly part of that admissions process, but I hear it a lot through our faculty members, our directors, our admissions team. And I would say my best advice is to really hone in on that essay that you write on your application. That's how you really get a chance to stand out. Start with a great hook. I was just hearing one of our past students got in because their opening line was, "I wish I had been shot." What a line. What does that mean? Why are you saying that? You get on to read further that he had had a friend who had been in an accident and had gotten shot and has this crazy story. And he said, I may not have the best story to get in, but that and other experiences have inspired me to become a PA because of what I've seen and what I've heard. So find something that sets you apart and really hook them from the beginning because, the faculty members are busy. Our admissions team is busy. They're going to read thousands of applications. You may
Mhm.
not think you're a writer, but find some story in your life that's really going to set you apart, and that might gain you one of those 60 seats.
Oh, I love that. What great advice. Gosh, I never
Thanks.
really thought about that. It's unusual and it's very creative. So,
Mhm.
what is your path and how did you get to South College?
A winding path, I will say. Um, and it's interesting that, of course, the thing I spoke about is the writing aspect because that's how I got my start. I went and did my undergrad at Western Kentucky University, and I had an English creative writing major. So I was always interested in the stories people had to tell and reading books and literature and the way I never thought I would end up, in medicine and healthcare, but it's kind of full circle because I've had, quite a few family members be teachers and in the education field. My grandpa was a college advisor, so it kind of makes sense. But how I got to South College was actually because of the pandemic. I was working a different job at the time and unfortunately got laid off due to COVID budget cuts. And
Mhm.
while that was pretty devastating in the moment, it worked out because I found a job at South College and I started as an administrative assistant. And then I got to know people throughout the school and different programs. And at the time, somebody in our PA program said, "Hey, we've got this new job open. We're starting from scratch, kind of. We need somebody to help the clinical director. I think you'd be good at it." And so I spoke with my clinical director at the time. We hit it off. And then I talked to our director, Dr. Peacock, and that's how I ended up in this role. So I really have learned a lot. You come in, there's all these acronyms. I know nothing of the medical field. I didn't even know what a PA was when I started working at South
Yep.
College. So honestly, even though I don't have a background in it, I've loved learning and I love working in a place where others love learning as well. Working in that education sector,
Mhm.
everyone's always trying to improve, working on extra degrees and certifications. And it's never a dull day here at the PA department. So that's kind of
I
how I ended up here.
Oh, I love that story.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned the acronyms. So when I started, and again, I came from e-commerce, I heard
Okay.
MSN and I'm like, oh, okay. And they were like, no, it's Master of Science of Nursing. And I'm like,
Oh.
Microsoft Network. All right. I know what that is.
I
Wrong.
would have thought the same thing. I definitely would have told you a PA was a personal assistant if you'd
Yeah,
asked me.
exactly. Or a production assistant. I mean, it could be
Exactly.
anything. So no, I get that. And you're a hilltopper. I actually know a little bit about WKU. It's literally one of the best all-girl cheer squads in the country. My daughter cheered, and they used to compete against WKU at college nationals every year. But phenomenal cheer team at WKU. So there you go.
I wasn't very involved in the sports world, but I know WKU is really great. We've got that D1 basketball, maybe football, don't
Yeah.
ask me, but we've obviously got great other programs as well, and I had a great time as a hilltopper.
Yeah, see, there you go. I love that. Well, that's going to wrap me up here in the happiest place on earth. Well, at least for me anyway, Nashville, Tennessee. I love Nashville, and I've had a blast with everyone today and spending my time with some of my favorite colleagues. If you see the big, beautiful building on I-40 across from the airport, stop by, say hi, and join the bright futures here at South College Nashville. I want to thank my guest, Nashville PA Education Coordinator, Jessica Ahrens.
Thank you, Kathleen. I've had a great time talking with you today, and you're always welcome to come back and put up your cowboy boots and head on back over.
You're on, and we're going to get this place.
Sounds great. Thanks,
Love
Kathleen.
that. With 10 campuses in 7 states, plus online and CBE, there's a pathway for you at South College. Hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Live from South College, live from our Nashville campus. Thanks for joining me. The Live from South College podcast is a production from South College Marketing. If you love it, give it some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day and let your dreams find direction. See you next time.